The DeKalb County Board of Education will meet in regular monthly session Thursday, April the 11th, 2024 at 7 p.m. at the DeKalb Middle School. Ms. Vickers, could you please call the roll?
Mr. Jason Miller.
Present.
Mr. Eric Irvin.
Present.
Mr. Danny Parkerson.
Present.
Mrs. Jamie Cripps. Present. Mr. Jim Shears.
Present.
Mr. Alan Hayes. Chairman Sean Tubbs.
Present. Before we get started, do we have anyone that signed up for public comment? If not, then the first order of business. Did anyone sign up for public comment?
They took it off.
Okay.
They said what they wanted to say. It wouldn't be.
Thank you. The first order of business are the consent items, and they are as follows. The agenda. Item B is approval of minutes of March 14th, 2024 regular monthly meeting. Item C is to consider and act on DeKalb West School fundraising request. Item D, consider and act on DCHS FBLA attending the State Leadership Conference. Executive action has already been taken on that matter. Item E is to consider and act on DCHS FFA attending Leadership Conference at Camp Clements in Doyle, Tennessee. Item F is to consider and act on 2024-25 Perkins Basic Grant original budget. Item G is to consider and act on TNRMT safety grant. Item H, consider and act on 141 GP budget amendments, TISA safety grant, Spark, and CSH. Item I is to consider and act on ProCare therapy, Voco Vision contract. Item J is to consider act on DCHS football, attending Tennessee Tech, FCA 7-on-7 camp. That's an overnight trip on July the 9th through the 11th, 2024. Item K is to consider and act on board members attending the TSBA Summer Law in Gatlinburg. I think everyone's had ample time to review each of these consent items. Are there any of these that anyone wishes to have further discussion or remove from the agenda? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion.
I have a motion made by Ms. Cripps. Do I have a second? Second by Mr. Miller. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? That motion carries. Item number 2 is to consider and act on school board policy 4.205, and this is on second reading.
That is the let's see this. Enrollment in advanced courses. The amendments that was made to it just to put more restrictions on for Motlow and the ACT course that's given at the school.
Do I have a motion, please? Second. I have a motion made by Mr. Miller. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Cripps. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? And that motion carries. Item number 3 is to consider and act on extended bus utilization.
We have one bus that we're asking to extend its use. It is, and it's going into its 18th year. It's a 2008 Thomas Built bus.
I have a motion made by Mr. Parkerson. Do I have a second? Second by Mr. Bashirs. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? That motion carries. Item number 4 is to consider and enact on request to fund an additional school resource officer.
Sheriff Ray had contacted me earlier in the month and had requested an additional officer. In your package, you've got the memo that he had sent, and then we discussed it earlier in the workshop. This will be a roaming SRO officer, fill in when someone would be out, and probably double duty at middle school and high school. Not speaking work for work and replacement, but that was the intent.
I'll make a motion to that.
I have a motion made by Mr. Bashirs. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Miller. Can we have a roll call vote?
Mr. Danny Parkerson,
No.
Mr. Alan Hayes, Mr. Jim Bashirs,
Yes.
Mr. Eric Urban,
Yes.
Mrs. Jamie Cripps,
Yes.
Mr. Jason Miller,
Yes.
Chairman Sean Tubbs.
Yes. That motion carries. Next item is the personnel report from the Director of Schools.
It's in your packet.
And does any board member have any business that may properly come before the board? If not, I have a motion that we adjourn.
Make a motion.
I have a motion made by Mr. Miller. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Irvin. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? This meeting is adjourned.